Parkins Spiegel holiday party. There has been comedy and sports and Lynn Bramer just for good vibes. And now we're back to comedy. Jenn Sterger is in studio. Thrilled to have you back on the show. You are performing at Zany's Old Town tonight, opening up for Chris Porter. How you doing, Jenn?
I'm great. I'm just glad to be on the show to talk about something other than, the male anatomy for once,
yeah, that makes it. And who knows what'll come up. But
literally.
Yeah, but exactly. But you had a lot of questions.
Listen,
did we tell you what was happening, what you were walking into?
Not really.
Okay, yeah.
Not really.
She seems confused, Shane. She's like, what was your question about Shane, by the way? Why don't we ask that one first?
No, I was just like, there's a lot going on this table. There's some mystery stuff in a bowl, punch. I'm assuming there's liquor in it. I mean,
full bottle of vodka.
Yeah, Shane poured a whole bottle of vodka and 2 Sprites.
And exactly. I'm like, and then there's just a lone dented Sprite on the counter.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the saddest holiday party I've ever seen. It needs to smell like peanut butter, so I'm assuming I can't have those.
Oh, yeah,
are you allergic?
Those are peanut butter balls. They're
No,
delicious.
it's just peanut butter.
Yeah.
And then you have the Mensch. And then I was just trying to. I'm glad all things are represented here.
So you know the Mensch.
I know the Mensch
on
very
a bench.
well.
You know the Mensch well. Tell people why you know the Mensch so well.
The Mensch and I go way back, honestly. The Mensch ended up being like this pseudo mascot for Team Israel baseball. Back when they were playing in the WBC, because Cody, as you know, played for Team Israel, and he just always was trying to find fun and inventive ways to be like the clubhouse guy. And so he told them, I'm going to go get this little Mensch, whatever. He got the Mensch this size, just the regular size
For
Mensch.
those who can't see, it's not an elf on a shelf. It's a Mensch on a bench.
And for those who don't know, Jenn
size.
Sterger, Cody Decker is Jenn Sterger's husband. You're not his wife. Right? I think that's probably. Is that the right way of introducing that? I would think.
You just nailed the dynamic of my marriage to a T. You really
guys are just
have.
competing with each other as who's husband and wife?
Yes, we're very progressive. It's husband and husband.
Husband and husband. Okay, so Jenn Sterger is
my
Cody
pronouns
Decker's
are
husband.
don't try me. That's
Love that.
But so yeah, Cody went and he got this little Mensch, I think from Amazon or whatever, and he took it to the Brooklyn series. And when they advanced, he was like, I've got to do something bigger for going to Asia. So they sent him this giant life-size Mensch on a bench.
If you Google, you will find it is as big as Cody Decker, a Mensch that sat on Team Israel's bench.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And in all of the press conferences, it was very Andy Kaufman-esque. And now this thing resides in my house.
Oh, my God.
And I forget what room he's in sometimes. And so I'll just walk into our studio and all of a sudden I'll see this giant life-size Jewish man sitting on our, we're like, holy crap.
That's not Cody.
No, it's
Not
a little
yet.
it's a little alarming though when I'm by myself, so.
Eventually, all Jewish men do age to look exactly like the Mensch, though.
Can't
so
wait. I'm
you've
just
got that
gazing into my
to look
future.
forward to with Cody. Absolutely.
You're very lucky. So you just mentioned Andy Kaufman. You've been doing stand up for years now. How many years have you been doing stand up?
So I started in 2013 and then took a little bit of time off to do the whole married thing and, follow Cody around as his emotional support person during baseball. I don't know if you guys know this. Minor league baseball, not as awesome as Major League Baseball. And so it's quite taxing on individuals and their mental health. So I felt like I took a step back from being on stage to be a good supportive wife. And then got involved with radio, was doing a radio show with Cody called Swings and Misses. We did that for a little while. Pandemic brought that down, RIP. Was doing pro wrestling stuff for a while, so was balancing television and radio at the same time, and I just didn't have the capacity, because they'd want us in to do Kevin and Bean sports in the morning, and I would be out at the clubs late at night, and I was like, this doesn't work, So
Yeah.
Comedy took kind of a backseat to that, and then once the pandemic kind of started to loosen up a little bit, I was like, I really miss stand up. I miss being on stage. I miss being in front of live audiences. I miss people. Because I'm high risk, so I wasn't going out and seeing anyone at all. It was just me, my cats, and my dog, and sometimes Cody when he was in town. So I was losing my mind, and so stand up just felt like the right time to get back in because none of us were good at it. We were all doing Zoom shows, which were just abysmal, And so now it was just this felt like the right time to slip back in. And honestly, I feel like I've made crazy strides since I've come back into comedy because I just kind of came back in at the right time.
That's awesome. Were you becoming one of those stereotypical crazy cat ladies? Like in that time?
I've always been one of those.
Really?
You know? Exactly.
Really?
I talk a little bit about it on my set. Where I feel like I have to acknowledge this. You know, like I tell other, I run a nonprofit animal rescue in Los Angeles. And I just, mainly because, you know, I stopped rescuing men in my 20s. So like just cats and dogs now. But yeah, I really do love my animals. You know, like that was kind of what something Cody and I bonded over in the beginning.
That's awesome. Who are your comedy influences?
God, my comedy influences. Obviously, you know, Sarah Silverman was a big one for me. Chelsea Handler honestly was the one that made me look at her. I thought, oh, I can do this, because she was so attractive and so funny and so quick, and she just didn't care. And I was like, man, I want that like chutzpah. I want to be able to walk out on stage and just be like, I'm going to own this room, and I don't care whether or not you people like me. And so I feel like it was a combination of those two for sure.
She's still got that too, Chelsea Handler. Saw her fairly recently, just, you know, at the Chicago Theater, just absolutely killing it and working the room.
Oh yeah. So that's definitely who my influence was getting back into it. You know, I read all their books, Tina Fey's books. Like I've just always been fascinated with comedy. Like even when I was a child and I had no business going to shows and my parents would somehow get me in, I was just like, you guys are terrible parents.
So what did you learn about minor league baseball, being with a minor league baseball player? Like what surprised you about just how awful it is to be a minor league baseball player?
I mean, I probably would get canceled if I started like putting all that dirt out there, but I don't feel like those guys get enough help with their mental health, because it's such a grind. And just the idea that like you have to like wait for someone to get hurt or for something bad to happen to someone else for you to get your chance. Like,
that's what you're rooting for.
Yeah, that just feels like such a terrible thing where you're like, oh, so-and-so went down with an ankle. Oh yes, I'm called up. You know, like it just felt like such a sad existence, honestly.
And they don't get paid much, and they're traveling on bad buses and such.
Bad buses. I know Cody would always talk about them trying to make these like makeshift like swings that they basically would like convert into beds like across the aisle, and like they would just kind of sway back and forth. Like so it's like being on a tropical island, but you know, sadder. And like he would just always talk to me about like just those bus trips from hell, you know. A lot of Southwest flights. I think he's racked up a bunch of points there.
Oh, boy, hold on.
I mean,
that's a loyal Southwest.
I love Southwest.
Right there.
Listen, bags fly free. You can cancel your flight same day. They just refund the points.
Yep.
Flies out of both Chicago airports.
You get
now.
to listen to the stewardess do their tight five.
That's what I don't love. I'm a nervous flyer, so when they're like,
you're like, stop making jokes about this.
Seriously, during the safety instructions, I need to know where the emergencies are. They're like, if this plane was going to go down today, we would not have showed up to work today. Well, that's not funny. What if the plane does go down today and I'm not prepared?
See, I started giving it back to them where they're like, are you willing and able to assist in case of emergency? And I'd be like, are you expecting one? Because I'll leave.
Yeah. They're like, oh, there's your seat cushion is a life raft, but that's not going to come in handy because we're flying over a mountain. I'm like, yeah. There's some nervous flyers back here. I don't have my Xanax right now. Can we take it easy? I'm just trying to go to Vegas for $104.
Exactly.
like lay off on the plane crash jokes, flight attendants.
Man.
Right? Time and place. Do that on stage.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
Know your audience, for sure.
I'm strapping into a piece of metal that's going to go 600 miles an hour, and we're going to all just pretend like this is totally normal.
I think that's been the craziest part for me since like getting back out on the road and doing more like road shows for comedy is just knowing where you are and who you're talking to at all times, and knowing like what that audience is about, because it just makes it just determines how your set's going to go right away. Like if you're clueless, I mean, you're just going to be fighting an uphill battle in certain areas. Like I just know what my target demo is.
Which is?
Not a room full of all dudes, that's for sure. Which is funny because sometimes that's what Chris Porter attracts. Is I know when we had one show like last week in Indy, and there were literally 3 women in the room, and I was just like, "What happened here? Like, where are all the women in this city?"
Yeah, and you think guys don't get your humor, or you're trying to make fun of dudes, or is combination of thereof? Like what's the?
I think it has a lot to do with that. I'm trying to think of a way to say it so that I don't get canceled on radio. Where's my dump button? I just have that big energy,
sure,
but for a girl, whatever that is.
Yeah. And you think that
I
intimidates?
just had to dump my middle word myself because I didn't know where the button
It's
was.
self-editing.
You're Pete Davidson
Welcome to
energy,
True.
but for a girl.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just rubs guys the wrong way.
I suppose I could see
They're
that.
like, man, she's making our women feel too good about themselves.
That's terrible. Don't paint it with such a broad brush. We're not all terrible. It's just most of us.
Oh, man.
Jenn Sterger in studio. Cody Decker is her husband. Jenn Sterger will be at Zany's in Old Town tonight, opening up for Chris Porter. So tickets still available. Go out, check them out.
You know, I was just watching The White Lotus, and pretty sure the entire message is that men are terrible. That's the message. It's the ethos of the whole thing. Like every man in it, and I guess they're not wrong. Essentially, right? I mean,
We've done a lot of good things throughout society. We've also been basically anything bad is largely our
can be
fault.
attributed to us. That's
Listen, it's not. I don't paint a broad stroke with all men. It's just mostly Cody. Like, let's hear it. If you want to hear the roast of Cody Decker,
the
like
listeners might line up for that.
Yeah, sure. We got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Yeah, let's roast Cody.
That's what my stand up is. It's just very honest perspective on marriage, especially a marriage with my dynamic, which you nailed so eloquently,
Yeah.
husband and husband.
Yeah.
And
So
not just because I have a deep voice.
So I mean, but honestly, I mean, we're both married. What are some of the dynamics that you feel like have you learned any lessons? You had any tips? What would you from your act or otherwise? Where you're like, you know what, this is what makes it work or doesn't?
No, I still haven't figured it out. Like we're coming up on 5 years, and I don't know what I'm doing. Every day I wake up and I'm like, I thought the ninjas would have taken you by now. Honestly, I still don't know how to make a marriage work smoothly. I think people just are, get together and just try to figure it out. I think communication's really important, and it's really hard when you have two people that are super snarky and sarcastic trying to communicate with each other. Because at some point you have to be like, all right, tap out for a second. We have to try to communicate like we aren't running bits at each other, and that this isn't a Friars Club roast. All right.
Yeah, give me the vulnerability here.
Oh
for
yeah,
a
because we
minute.
can both go there. But I think the difference is just not getting too mean with it. Like learning how to communicate like consciously with somebody.
It takes work.
It does.
It takes actual work. I know.
How long have you been married?
I'll be 5 years in April.
Okay.
So yeah, it takes constant work to stay.
It does.
But then when you work it out, eventually you come to a holiday party and your wife has made the peanut butter balls. Okay. So, there's peanut butter balls at the end of the rainbow is what I'm trying to say.
That's beautiful. Put that on a Hallmark card.
Balls
Wisdom.
for
We were
everybody.
asked earlier if we wanted wisdom.
Yeah. Balls for everybody. That's the tagline for the show. It's perfect. That's perfect.
Especially Shane in that vest. But yeah.
What's wrong with the vest?
What's
wrong with the vest?
She can't hear you. She's not wearing
I
the headphones.
can't hear you. That's on
no, but
purpose.
it's okay. But he wants to know what's wrong with the vest.
Because the vest is lovely, I think.
Roast Shane if you want.
What's
roast
wrong with the
Cody.
vest?
Listen, stand up for a second.
Yep. Oh, viewers on Twitch can see what
Jesus
a glorious Christmas thing.
It's like Santa's workshop just vomited all over you.
Yeah, that's the goal here. I wanted to. It's a Christmas holiday party.
You just wanted to show off the guns, is what it's about.
Yeah, my massive biceps.
God, I feel like I'm around Cody right now already.
They have a thing. They definitely have a thing.
Oh, is that why there's a bromance?
I think there's definitely a bromance.
They probably send each other pictures of their biceps all the time, and I don't even know about it. They're just Snapchatting pictures of their arms.
Tanny and I spent my 30th birthday with Cody in Vegas for one of the trips on the rooftop lounge of the Legacy
Oh,
Club
that's
in
what that
Circa,
bill was.
And got.
I'm not even joking. I was like, what on earth did you spend $400 for in Vegas?
Shane's birthday.
Shane's
My
birthday.
30th. Yeah, got high as a mother.
Hi, is John Vincent?
Yeah.
That checkout. You're just nodding.
There were many fights about this.
Oh no! It plays to the
didn't
Twitch
know that.
audience. Man, we are just tightroping around some sore subjects here with Jenn Sterger. Many fights about the. I mean, listen. What husband and wife hasn't fought about a bill in a Vegas trip?
Oh.
I mean, come on. Those ATM fees show up. They're $10 withdrawals. Oh, it's.
I was just glad none of them were at strip clubs, to be honest.
That's what
I
I'm
felt
saying.
like that was, I didn't know whether to be happy about that or sad about that. Like, where were you guys spending money? Oh, that's sad.
you were paying for booze in Vegas. You can get it for free.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, It's tougher for guys sometimes to get it for free, but yeah, fair enough. So, all right, Zanies in Old Town, opening up for Chris Porter. No tips on a smooth sailing marriage. Texters are pointing out
Therapy
and communication.
Lots of therapy.
Texters are pointing out it's big deck energy.
Ah,
Especially
Yeah.
for Cody.
yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of that.
There you
There's
go.
a lot of that.
There you go. Well, good luck with the show. Help yourself to some food. I know you said it's a sad holiday party, but there's food and booze, so it's not that bad.
Yes,
And a
it's all the food that I'm allergic to. I cannot wait.
Oh, well, we didn't get your dietary restrictions ahead of time.
Exactly. You didn't even get my rider.
There was no
My bad.
rider at all.
My bad.
You know what? I got a car though, which Shane sent like 20 minutes early. So that's why I'm like, I barely have like my eyebrows on right now. He's like, I'm sorry.
I feel like you're out to get me here. Wouldn't you rather be early than late?
No, I was like, my dad must have ordered this Uber because my dad is the type of guy that's like, we got to leave for the airport at 4 a.m. And then at 3:50, he comes in and he's like, let's go, we're late. And you're like, no, you said 4. You said 4 a.m. That's when I'm getting up. Don't do it a minute sooner. So yeah, I was like, oh, my dad totally ordered this Uber for me.
That's amazing.
Thank you for attacking Shane as much as you have. That's been a lovely part of the day.
No problem. That's what I'm around for.